information evening and to introduce you to the core team within the secondary school. For those of you who've had your children come through the schools, you would have known that we had a secondary and a primary school. But this year we've introduced a new structure. We do have the primary school, the middle school, and the secondary school. I'm a new member of staff. I've only joined the school in August, but I do have a number of years experience. You can see it in my grey beard. I've had a number of years experience in education. I've only ever been an educator. I've worked in the Middle East, I've worked in the UK, and so I was delighted when I was given this opportunity to join the school. The main aim for this afternoon is to introduce to you the core team within secondary, and to also introduce to you the heads of year for those of you who haven't yet met the head of year 10 or the head of year 11. We'll also share with you some curriculum information, and this again is going to be general information. We're going to share with you some information about studying and progressing into years 12 and 13. The evening where you'll be able to have a talk with one-on-one with teachers is coming up in a few weeks. That's not this evening. This evening is not about asking me specific questions about physics, because I wouldn't be able to give you that information. So this evening is more of a general information for you to meet myself and to meet the team in secondary. And so I'm just going to quickly introduce you to the team we have in the secondary school. So we're going to start with the senior team. If you go back one slide, please, sir. We're going to start with the senior team. So as I said, I'm Dr. Wim, the head of secondary. I just want to quickly introduce you to Mr. Kirk. Mr. Kirk is the deputy head of secondary, and he'll tell you exactly what his job is.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Kirk, originally from beautiful Cape Town, South Africa. I've been in the UAE for 4 years. This is my third year at GEMS. I was currently still am head of English, but now recently moved into deputy head of secondary. My particular focus is discipline, pastoral care, and student leadership, but I'm also involved in all the other portfolios as part of the running of the school.
Thank you, sir. I'll now introduce you to Mrs. Critchlow, one of our assistant head teachers.
Hi, good evening, everybody. It's so nice to see some familiar faces as I go into my 11th year here from the UK, but the UAE is like my second home. I am in charge of teaching and learning, so I'll be making sure that your child is fulfilling their potential and working alongside our coaches and teachers and looking at everything that's going on inside the classroom. So I'm really grateful to have you all here, and I hope you enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Miss. And now Miss Brecken, another assistant head.
Hi everyone, good to see you all here. Yeah, I'm Miss Brecken. I'm one of the assistant heads in charge of curriculum and ECAs. I was head of art here and head of year 11 last year, and I've been in the school for 7 years, and previously was head of art in the UK for many, many years. You can see how old I am as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Brecken. And the other person I'll introduce you to is Mr. Govender, and he's in charge of the sixth form. And we hope that your children, when they move into 11, will of course stay with us in year 12 and 13. It's a very crucial member of our team. Mr. Govender.
Good evening, everyone. Like I was introduced, I'm Theo Govender. I'm the head of year 12 and 13 of the director of sixth form. I don't work too much with the year 10s and 11s at the moment, so they will see me more in sixth form when they get there. But I will be involved with the year 11s closer to the end of the year when they start making their plans to go into year 12 next year. So I look forward to seeing them all then. I do teach quite a number of your more children for math in year 10 and year 11 at the moment. So yeah, enjoy your evening.
Thank you, sir. And these two gentlemen get all the work done. These are the gentlemen who get all those emails and are always running around the school to get things done. I want to introduce Mr. Ross. If you want to raise your hand, Mr. Beaton. So Mr. Beaton is head of year 10, and of course Mr. Tarek is the head of year 11. I'm sure they're no strangers to you. You would have seen many emails from them. We're going to move straight on into the program for this evening. I'm going to invite again Miss Brecken, who will talk you through, again, give you a general gist of what we're studying in 12 and 10 and 11.
Right, okay, so this is just a brief overview for the curriculum. So we're just going to talk about the IGCSEs, probably more important for the year 10s because they've just changed from year 9 into year Year 10. We're going to give practical guidance on assessments, mocks and pathways, ADEC equivalency, especially for the Year 11s, which is really, really important for you to understand now, and gaining entry into the sixth form. And then some information on how to support your children here, how we're going to support them here and at home as well, which is really important. So, our GCSEs, obviously they stand for the International General Certificate of Education, Secondary Education. They are an internationally recognised qualification, and they are studied over 2 years, which is your Key Stage 4. These are academic qualifications taken by students aged 16 and go through to, I think I've just got that totally wrong, I can't remember what age, in Year 10 and Year 11. The exams mark the completion of Key Stage 4, so when they do their main exams in Year 11, that's when they'll get the grades, and that's when you'll be speaking to Mr. Govender about gaining entry into the sixth form, as long as you've passed your ADEC and then passed or gained the grades that you need to gain entry. You will get this PowerPoint, by the way, don't worry about trying to read everything, I'll be sending this out. So the curriculum, we usually use 2 main examples, which is Pearson Edexcel and the Cambridge International. And then your mocks, the GCSE mocks will go through the years, so you'll be having mocks in Year 10 and then more exams at the end of Year 10, and then you'll go back into Year 11, you'll do some more mocks there, and then you'll do your main exams in May and June. One thing for the Year 11s, your mocks, when you do them, the first set of mocks or the second set of mocks are really, really important. Don't just think it's a complete waste of time. Those grades that you get in those mocks will be used as evidence, or used to see where you are and gaining entry into the sixth form. And from there, you'll be mainly having meetings if your grades aren't high enough to gain entry into the sixth form. So it's really, really important that the students know and understand those mocks are important, and it gives them some grades of what we can see, how they're going to gain entry into the sixth form. So don't just think they're a complete waste of time, because they're not. Exams obviously are the formal assessments taken at the end, so just be aware of that. You will get the calendar when the exams are, that will come out later on, and that's for the Year 11s. There are times, obviously, the exams will take place in here, and they will be timed, and we'll go through all the information for those exams when the time comes. So the timeline, so ages 14 to 16, so like I said, it's a 2-year course. Key Stage 5, obviously when they go into Year 12 and then 13. The Year 10 course starts, assessments and then coursework. And then Year 11, obviously you'll be finishing May, June time when you've done all your exams. Right, don't worry about this, I will be sending all this out, the PowerPoint. This just gives you some information on the assessments, so there's internal assessments and external assessment structures, okay? It also gives the different subjects and the exam boards that we use as well. So it goes through all the information there. And then one major change which the Year 10 parents will be aware of is the science. They've moved from modular to linear now, but you have all the information. The head of science sent that information out to parents and had a conversation with you. So it's now just one exam at the end of the Year 11. That's for the Year 10s, okay? So what I'm currently doing at the moment is creating a website. The curriculum information, the overviews of the subjects with the information of what they're studying will be on there. The assessment dates and information will be on the website as well. I'm also going to put on information on exam strategies, revision strategies, pastoral care, well-being and other information on there. I'm just currently in the process of making it, designing it at the moment. As soon as I've got that, you'll get a link. You'll be able to go on that link and then you'll be able to click down to your year group. You'll find curriculum information, subject information. I'm going to get information from subjects as well, heads of departments for revision, for booklets, and those will be on there as well. So all the information that you will require to go through Year 10 and Year 11 will be on this website. just trying to merge it though at the moment, so I'm currently on it. Okay? Obviously, curriculum information, skills development, this is really important as well. It's not just about knowledge, it's about developing higher order skills. It's important that your children have revision schedules, that they use their time wisely, and it's also about learning critical thinking, problem solving, being independent, researching and working independently at home, studying as well. These skills are vital not only for the GCSE grades, but progression into A-level and then into university, so it's a really, really important time for them. Obviously support and inclusion, we'll be talking about that. Some information will be going through, sent out to you as well with the emails regarding the support for exams if needed, okay, but all that information will be sent out to you as well. I'm going to pass on to Ms. Critchlow.
So I just want to talk to you about the ADEC equivalency. Many will know that I've spoken about this before if you have children who have now moved into sixth form. There is a requirement by ADEC to pass the high school certificate, which is known as the Shahada Al-Thawaniya Am. Try and say it correctly, thank you. Nodding at the front, that makes me feel good. So your child must pass 5 GCSEs with a grade E or 3 or above, but they must include English, Maths and one Science, and 2 other subjects from the 21 approved. So you can find this information on the ADEC website, and that is the high school certificate. So that's the minimum requirement for your child to be able to complete their year 11, the end of high school. Okay. Again, this you can find some of the information online about the subjects, but most of our children in school are studying 8 GCSEs. So please bear that in mind when you're looking at the grades, that your child should have a well-rounded body of examination results for those 5, okay? I also just wanted to talk about the transition, so for those who are in year 11 presently, that is the minimum requirement for ADEC. However, we have a school entry requirement to be able to pursue sixth form. If you are looking to study in our sixth form, please be aware that you need at least 5 GCSEs grade 5 or above, okay? So the E or 3 is for the ADEC. We require a 5 or above, but for some of the subjects, like some of the sciences and the maths, they may require a 7 or above. So please, just to make note of that now, passing ADEC equivalency is not an entry into our sixth form. There is an entry requirement specifically for us, and that's because over the years and the evidence that we see is that students are needing to work at a higher level to be able to undertake those courses, okay? So not every subject has a 7 or above, some are 6, but it will depend upon your child's career path that they are looking to take in the subjects for the sixth form, okay? This is a really good time to think about if you are looking at your child's grades, if you're looking at the data, if you're looking at the mock grades, everything through year 10 and 11, because it is a 2-year course of study, is to think and monitor your child's progress. Is the British curriculum at AS level and A level the right choice for your child? There are other pathways available that might meet the needs. There also are other schools offering other option processes, so there might be, we're obviously, when we think about the subjects, we have lots of the sciences and the maths, lots of our children predominantly looking for medicine, engineering, computer science. So there is opportunities for other pathways as well. Please maybe have a look at those. If you are not too sure or you're not familiar, do a little bit of research. We always say have that plan B ready just in case. We will do everything we can to support you and your child, and there's lots of people around with the expertise as well as working with you as parents. So if there is anything that you are worried about for your child, or you get a report through or something there's an email, please reach out to us, because we want to support them together so that there is that nurturing and caring environment. We are all here and we want to see your child succeed, okay? So that's all I'm going to say about the ADEC program. Thank you.
Okay, I'll come back on again. Okay, so within the school, obviously there's going to be school support there as well. A lot of the subjects do revision clinics and they do support during lunch times as well. Some may do after school ones, but they will be providing some revision papers, etc., that will be available to the students to help them. Thank you. So some examples. So this was happening last year for Year 11. So science, once the curriculum is completed, they will then go straight into revision. Okay, so once they've gone through all the curriculum, this will be for the majority of the subjects. Once they've covered all the curriculum, they will then start revising or do revision sessions. They will use the mocks and the results there to see where students have gaps or what needs to be revised more. English, again, is revision driven by the data for mocks again. Humanities provide revision books for the learners. Business, again, they got the Year 12 and 13 students last year to help the Year 11, did support sessions, and then art was doing after-school sessions for the GCSE students as well. So there's many different things in place from the subjects that will help your children get the best grade that they can. Okay?
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to speak about the second half of the partnership. You've heard a lot of information about how we child for the next phase of their examinations, okay, whether from Year 10 or in Year 11. Now, obviously, you're all here. That's a great sign, and it shows your support to the school and also to your child. But what we want to really talk about in this segment is how you can develop additional support by introducing routines, checking in on their studies, and a quick win for this is the implementation of a calendar, writing down key dates, key bits of information, which you can just touch base with the child, okay? Also checking in on how they're performing in their mock exams, checking their reports. There is study platforms that we do use in school, such as Bite Size, there's Seneca, and there's lots of information that the team are working on. Like Ms. Bracken said, the overview that will be on the school website. I think the biggest thing that we have to offer our learners, our children, is that calming space, okay? The exams will be stressful, and they will need that kind of calming voice. We have to be that calming voice for our kids. Offering them a space where they can study, where they can get good advice from us, from the school, but also from home. It's also about supporting their development by introducing a well-balanced meals, a good sleep pattern, okay, or sleep routine. Sometimes we hear parents saying to our children, you know what, just study, but that's one way of burning them out. And obviously, there's going to be times where they're going to have to cram in some additional study, but over the long term, that's not going to work. We're going to need to have the students create a routine that is manageable and that is balanced. We want them to be studying kind of slowly over the next 2 years, rather than trying to cram it all in the final year or in the final few weeks. On the next slide, it's going to be talking you through stress management, and this is where I'll pass over to Mr. Beaton, who's going to also talk about well-being.
Thank you, Mr. Tarry. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see again some familiar faces here. Just to give you a bit of background, my name is Mr. Ross Beaton. I'm the head of Year 10 this year. I may have dealt with you before when I was the head of Year 7, Year 8, so I've transitioned myself up to the secondary school now, where I'm delighted to be starting this new phase of your child's learning journey into IGCSE. We've had a lot of information from the team about exams and ADEP and all those very serious things. There's a flip side to that, and I think Mr. Tariq referenced that partnership very well in terms of well-being, stress management, and looking after ourselves. Sometimes as teachers we don't do it, and then we are telling the students to do these things, and we are guilty of it. But on the screen here there is some tips and some tricks that can help students, and may I say, may help the parents as well. So good sleep, physical activity, connecting with family and friends. You know, it's all about striking a balance. When I was in school, my mother used to say, you know, work for a while, take a break. And studies have shown that working consistently for hours on end or without a little break are actually not significant. Okay, they don't actually learn much in big blocks. So by taking breaks, it can really help our students. And the big thing that I really want to emphasize from a pastoral point of view, myself, Mr. Tarek, and all the team, is that we are here to help, we are here to support. You know, it's not just about coming to school every day, going to do exams, going to do assessments. It's knocking on our doors saying, listen, I'm stressed about this, or this is going on, or I need some help with this. You know, there is a stigma out there, isn't there, that you're not supposed to ask for help, but we are encouraging your child, or you as parents, to come and contact us if you do have any questions, be it big, be it small, no matter what it is. Mr. Ticker, thank you. There is some tips here for reducing stress and nervousness. It's a massive, massive thing today in today's world. We're seeing it on social media, we're seeing it in the general media, and ways in how we can identify how our children, your children and our learners are feeling on a day-to-day. You know, are they irritable, cranky? Are they struggling to sleep? Maybe not eating very well? Mood swings? Are they losing interest? I've already had a couple of students come up to me the last week and say, I just don't like this anymore, I just don't like this subject. Maybe they've chosen the wrong subject and they're starting to lose that motivation. So maybe we need to point them in the right direction. And there is still time to do that, particularly for those in year 10, okay? We are guilty here of piling on the pressure and saying, this must be done now, deadlines, and you know, we're all used to it from our own jobs and our own workplaces. It's all about management. But it's trying to strike that balance with our children, that you know, there are ways of balancing and ways of kind of reaching out and trying to help. Okay? So there's some more things here for wellbeing motivation. We have a wellbeing society here in school where they'll be up and running doing small little events or activities, whatever it may be. Okay? I can see it myself. If I have an unmotivated student in my lesson, and I'm not just saying this, and some of the students in front of me here will testify, sometimes all you need is that one sentence, just to say, that was great, well done, you got that answer correct. Or, that was a brilliant effort. It can really boost a learner's self-confidence and give you that motivation to come in the next day and do it all again. You know, it is a long 2 years, but it's also a very quick 2 years. My current year 11s at the moment, some of them are here this evening, we basically only have 2 full terms of work, and then term 3 is revision, and you're on study leave, and that's it, it's exam time. So, you know, the pressure is there, but there's also still a lot of time, and we can manage it in the best way possible. So, I am here, Mr. Tiger's here, all the team are here to help and support. Email, phone call, knock on my door if you're in school, and we can give support. Okay, I'll hand you back to Mr. Kirk, because there's a lot to get through. Actually, I'll hand to Mr. Radika, who is our careers guidance, and we will be working hand in hand over the next 2 years together.
Hi, good evening parents. So most of the parents of year 10s and 11s must be meeting me for the first time, because usually I work very closely with 12s and 13s, but as a team now, as a secondary school team, we are trying to inculcate a lot of new initiatives for year 10s and 11s, because we want to start really early in terms of having one-on-one counseling sessions. So the head of year has already rolled out a form that if you are interested to have a one-on-one session, whether it is for well-being or whether it is for career, so we usually meet them during the break times. We are going to start that soon from the 1st of October. We have just rolled out the form last week. And when it comes to Gems for Life, I just wanted to give you an overview that Gems for Life partnered, we have a university setups, we have tied up with various universities where as a GEM student you do get benefits. So the overview of it will be shared to you over from the head of years as well. I'm going to keep it really short because this is something which would come towards when you are in your AS and A, but I want to give a thought that you want to start thinking about the platforms like Unifrog, which was been introduced at all levels for secondary school, because it's been extensively helpful for somebody for the futures, for university destinations, and that's the one platform which we track everything related to university details. And when it comes to university visits and fairs, we do have a lot of fairs happening within the school, and we do also take students outside the school as well. So like last year we had also gone to Naja Fair, which happens in Abu Dhabi. We also had gone to Dubai universities, predominantly Dubai universities, because that is within the reach for us. You know, and also from the ratio from last year to this year, also we have a lot of students who were staying back in UAE. There are international universities also looking at, but there are some students who wish to stay back in UAE as well. So we do cater to all across the globe universities. So anything related to universities or anything related to careers, I have mentioned, put my email up there, career guidance email. So we could also have a one-on-one session with parents later in the year. We also have meetings which would talk about case-to-case related to your student and which destinations they are doing, which destinations they wish to go. So we will do that one-on-one counseling through our through a psychometric testing, through various platforms. Okay, and on top of that, you know, when I talk about university representatives also coming to our school, so we have universities come for doing their workshops on personal statements, on profile buildings, which you would eventually need it in AS and A levels. So all in all, you know that I'm here in the school. The kids know that I'm available to them on the Teams platform. So if they have anything specifically related to anything to do with university research and career guidance, they can reach out to me. Yeah? Thank you.
All right, hello again. And what that entails and how that works really. The pastoral program hinges predominantly on our form tutor program. Most of you will already have had interactions with your child's form tutor. They are the pastoral check-in. They're the ones who do attendance in the morning, they're checking that everything's okay, they're keeping track of how things are happening, and they will be your first port of call for communication for 90% of the time. So the form tutor program is something that we oversee, and we've got this new vision that we want to bring into the school as part of our new structure. So for year 10, the vision, or should I say the theme for the year rather, is to set your sights. And the idea is to get their eye on where it is that they're aiming to go. If you don't plot your destination, how are you going to know how to get there, right? So we want students to know exactly where they plan to end up being, give them the tools that are going to help them set that pathway up. Then in year 11, the theme is marathon, and that's short for the expression, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay? Success in IGCSE and indeed in A-levels and beyond is heavily based on continual effort, little by little by little. And here I refer specifically to a Japanese concept called Kaizen, which means if you are 1% better every day, in 100 days you are 100% better. So instead of trying to make enormous leaps all the time, just a little bit better every single day. So if we start that, obviously in year 10, that's fantastic, that's where we set our sights. But if we do that in year 11, we've still got more than 100 days of year 11 left. That means there's 100% potential sitting there, if we can work on that. So that's the form tutor program, and obviously that we also have the Unifrog support coming into that. Unifrog is a platform that enables students to take all their extramurals and all the things that they're doing and amalgamate them into one unified, it's the unified application process that we can then send through to universities. So a lot of our students are very ambitious, they want to go to some of the top universities in the world, and that's absolutely right, many of them do go to the top universities, but those places are very competitive, obviously. They get literally hundreds of thousands of applicants every single year. So how do you stand out from that? How do you make sure you rise to the very top? And Unifrog helps to do that. There are courses, there's training things, there's guidance tests, there's all sorts of things. And obviously any extramural things that they do, they can log in there and build this portfolio slowly but surely to create a unified application. I said this morning to the year 10s and 11s in assembly that the reason I do what I do is because I believe very inherently in the potential that exists in young people. It's why I come to work every single day. I believe that young people are the future. I mean, they are literally the future, but I believe that we are shaping the future we want to have. It's become a bit of a cliched thing to say that in this room there could be the person who makes an enormous medical breakthrough. There could be the person who figures out how to make life on Mars. I genuinely believe that. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't do what I do, and most of the teachers around us believe that as well. So the pastoral program is, I promise you, built for your child's success. We are 100% committed to your child's success. Everything we do is geared towards that. So the pastoral program will largely help to cover that as well. Just a few FAQs that we want to talk about. Can my child change subjects? We say only early in year 10. It's a tight program. We've just spoken to you about stress. We've spoken to you about workload. If you change too late rather, you've missed a big portion of content. So you're adding on to the stress that exists already. So we don't generally allow that. And when I say we don't allow things, it's like Ms. Critchlow said as well. It's the same as our year 12 entrance requirements. Those are not there to be elitist. Those are not there to be exclusionary. Those are because we believe in your child's success and we want to support them. So if we can see that it doesn't look like they're going to be successful at A-level, we don't want to potentially waste your time. We don't want to waste and put your child back in a poor position. We'd rather say, okay, let's find something that works better for them. Are holidays allowed during exams? No. We get our dates from ADIC. ADIC has a strict set of rules of the number of required academic days. They monitor our attendance very, very closely. They have a requirement on that. If the attendance falls beneath a certain figure, they can withhold passing. Okay, that's something ADIC has control over. Every day we log onto an external system. We put all the attendance through onto that. So if you think your child can study better at home, we cannot condone that as a condoned authorized absence. Okay? There will be certain periods where we allow study leave. Those will be communicated to you. Will there be study leave in year 11? As we said, yes, there will be, but it is communicated to you. We will say study leave begins, and I will tell you now it's usually about a week before the finals start in May. It's not very much more than that. But we do lots of revision in school. We have lots of support. I can speak on behalf of English. The third term is dedicated entirely to revision, and in fact we try to make most of the second term focused on revision. So coming to school is in itself an act of study. GCSEs are a stepping stone to the future. It's important to remember that they are part of a pathway, they are part of a journey, they form a holistic picture, but they're not necessarily the be-all and end-all. By navigating the different challenges, by listening to our advice, listening to teachers when they tell you certain things, we're not telling you because we think it's fun. We're telling you because we have reasons and we have experience. You have enormous experience in the staff. Balancing your work and life, you can be successful. One thing I'm going to say, I'll say certainly to my English class, but I'll say to most students as well, is I will say take breaks. Especially in the IGCSE exams. You must remember these are exams that stretch for weeks at a time. If we think of the children's brains like racehorses, and you think if you take a racehorse and you push it to its maximum and you just ride it for hundreds and hundreds of kilometers, eventually that horse is going to collapse. So if we think about the horses in our children's stables, we need to give them the right amount of breaks. Be kind to your child's brain. They need them. All right, and as I said, we're committed to guiding you through this journey. We're here for you. We're here to answer questions. We're here to support. We're watching out. We really, really do care. And I can say that from the bottom of my heart. Your contact flow charts, as I said, generally the first person you'll want to contact is either the subject teacher if you have a specific subject requirement, or the form tutor if it's something more pastoral. So if you've got a problem with English, for example, you'd contact the English teacher and say, can you help with this? I don't understand this. I'm concerned about a test result, etc. If it's a more holistic problem, something you're noticing behavior-wise, emotional-wise, then you would contact the form tutor, which could then be escalated to the head of year and ultimately escalated to SLT if necessary. Obviously, we send out information on the school website. We send out lots of emails. I know you probably get billions of school emails. I know it can be a bit overwhelming at times. Please read them. We put a lot of work into those. Even if you just do a quick skim read that you can kind of keep a tab on some information, you can be, I'm sure I read something about this at some point. You can keep track of these things. The other person that we've not introduced here is the exams officer, Ms. Anuprita. She's a very, very hardworking and very critical part of the school staff, so she'll be involved in all your applications to Cambridge, making sure that the exams are registered properly, doing all of those things. So you'll be hearing from her very soon. She's a wonderful, wonderful member of the staff. There are your heads of department. The top one is going to change quite soon, but otherwise it's pretty much set in stone. As we said, we will send this information out to you very, very soon. You'll get this full presentation. You can see all the people that you need to contact. Oh, psychology is blank. Psychology is Miss Critchlow, so you can also contact Miss Critchlow for psychology. Then a few key dates that are coming up. Okay, as we said, tonight is just the general information evening. This is just the bombard of things. When you want to come and ask questions, meet your children's subject teachers, these are different times. Okay? We will update you on these as the year progresses. The most important one, the Year 11 Parents' Evening, is on the week commencing the 6th of October. So the Monday will be on site, as they always have been. Tuesday will be online meetings. And then Year 10 that week is the week commencing the 26th of January. Okay? Then we have the 11 Options Evening in February. That's when we start to explain about the A-level program, starting to get ideas together. Then we have the IGC Maths Early Entry Exam on the 5th and the 7th of November, coming up very soon. Year 11 Internal Assessments commence on the 2nd of February. And some subjects will have assessments throughout the term. Sometimes we have assignments, sometimes we have little bits and pieces. Obviously you'll be notified well in advance. And then Key Stage 4, we say probably the second or third week back we'll have mock exams. As Ms. Brecken said, those mock exams are a wonderful litmus test of where things are. They are direct copy. The reason they're called mock exams is not because they make fun of you, but because they are facsimiles of the real thing. So we try to copy them as close to what the real exam would look like to give students an idea of where they're sitting. On that note, one thing I do want to say is please don't be too concerned if during the course of the year we have the odd dip in an assignment or a homework task doesn't quite go according to plan. I'm a big fan of little failures to make big successes, because through failure we learn. So if there's the odd thing and we make a little mistake on an essay, or maybe a class test doesn't go quite so well, that's the time for it to happen. That's the time for the mistakes to happen. So we learn from it, and then when we get to the exams we can do better. Rather than what a lot of students like to do is, let's just ChatGPT it, get the perfect exam, mom leaves me alone, look, I got an A for my essay, I can relax this weekend, and then the exam comes and we're in a bit of a pickle. So I always say, make the mistakes now, let the small steps, trip-ups happen now, and then we have success at the end. All right. Thank you so much from my side. Thank you for coming. A few of us will be hanging around, but I would like to hand over to Dr. Weir just to say a final vote of thanks.
Kirk, I think we've given you so much information over the last 40 minutes or so, and it's a lot to take in. You've heard about university, you've heard about the curriculum, you've heard about ADEC, you've heard about transition into the sixth form, you've heard about managing stress and well-being, and that's a lot to take in. But as a start, you may remember I said to you, this is not about giving you specific information. That's on the 6th of October. So please look out for that communication coming out in a few days to remind you about that. So I just want to say thank you very much for coming. I want to say thank you very much to the team for presenting to you this afternoon. If of course you need to meet with me or any member of the team, send us an email. We're available to meet with you and talk at length about whatever your concerns are, because we're here to support you. So thank you very much for coming, and I look forward to seeing you on the 6th of October for the Year 11 Parents' Evening, and in early January for the Year 10s. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.